Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you all here. Thank you for listening to my answers to the question given. My name is Fiona Serenita. Friends call me Fiona sometimes. I'm a student of University of Tanjung Pura, batch 2020. Today, I'm here to answer the questions given by my lecturer, Mr. Adi Mursalin. Firstly, I will answer the questions part A, which deal with the activities in the Zoom meeting. There are 4 questions. Next, I will answer the questions on part B, which deal with the theories of organizational behavior. There are 5 questions. And then I will watch 2 videos given and answer the questions that follow. Well, my dear friends, let me begin my answer. For question number 1, I am active in attending the lecture of organizational behavior, and I do engage in the discussion handled by my friends by asking them a question when the question and answer sections opens. I also actively participated when my friends asked something related to the material. Those 2 statements are my evidence of my activities in the discussion in the Zoom meeting. For the question number 2, the chapters that have been presented before the midterm test are 5. The material starts with the study of organizational behavior, which was explained by Mr. Adi Mursalin himself, followed by evolution of management concepts, individual dimensions of organizational behavior, personality, and learning that presented by different groups. Unfortunately, since we missed about 2 meetings, we haven't got the chance to discuss Chapter 6 about value attitude and job satisfaction, and Chapter 7 about motivation. So, in total, there are supposed to be 7 chapters that have been presented before the midterm test. For question number 3, by watching my friend's presentation, I gained new information related to OB that surely can have a good impact on me, either now or in the future. Besides the material explained, I also learned how to give a good presentation to the audience. I learned this from the last group who presented their material, that the presenter should engage the audience by using different intonation when talking and make interaction with them rather than only explain. For question number 4, the book that I use in my study of OB is Organizational Behavior by V.G. Kondalkar. I find the book really interesting. It stated everything really well and to the point. The writer also put the introduction for the early part of the chapter, which is good so that the reader can have a strong understanding. Besides that, there are study case and text questions to help the student understand its chapter well. For question number 1, organizational behavior is a field of study that investigates the impact that individuals, groups, and organizational structure have on behavior within the organization for the purpose of applying its knowledge towards improving on organizational effectiveness. Various factors that are considered to regulate individual behavior are abilities, gender, race and culture, attribution, perception, attitude, and so on. For the question number 2, the various fields and its contribution are: first, psychology. It has contributed towards various theories on learning, motivation, personality, training and development, theories on individual decision-making, leadership, job satisfaction, performance appraisal, attitude, ego states, job design, work stress, and conflict management. Second, sociology. It has contributed to a large extent of the field of group dynamics, roles that individuals play in the organization, communication, norms, status, power, conflict management, formal organizational theory, group processes, and group decision-making. Third, political science. It has contributed to the stability of government at national level as the one major factor for promotion of international business, financial investments, expansion, and employment. Fourth, social psychology. It has contributed to manage change, group decision-making, communication, and ability of people in the organization to maintain social norms. Fifth, anthropology. It has contributed in understanding organizational human behavior so that the acquisitions and mergers can be smooth, since organizations are bound by its culture that is formed by human beings. For question number 3, the evolution of management thought is a process that started in the early days of man. It began since the period man saw the need to live in groups. Mighty men were able to organize the masses, share them into various groups. The sharing was done according to the mass's strength, mental capacities, and intelligence. For question number 4, based on the case of hazards of hills, I will answer some questions. Based on the case, there are some key points of being a good leader that are shown by the officer in charge of the local army. Commendable helping attitude. The commander took part in actual retrieval of the vehicle back to the unit rather than merely commanding the officers. When the units were moving through the hazards of night, the commander was pushing the vehicle to keep its tail and aligned to the direction of the road. Positive bent of mind. The commander bravely cracked some humors and jokes in dire situations to lift up the spirits and break all of the tensions between the units, thus giving moral support and encouragement to all the officers. Understanding of peculiarities and problems. Intuitively led the units to finish the digging fastly in the record time of 2 weeks to avoid heavy snowfalls. Listening with sympathy and assurance to assist. The commander gave encouragement and moral support to the driver while sharing risks which his troops were facing. The main factors that contributed in motivating the troops to face difficulties came from the brilliant leadership of the commander by sharing all the task risks. He did what all the troops did, and all of them were done simultaneously with the act of directing, controlling, and executing. Thus, give the feeling of togetherness and extra motivation in completing tasks and facing difficulties. The troops' morale and spirit were also being kept in check by not giving unnecessary negative comments and behaviors that usually came in dire situations. Instead, they together faced the difficulties with love and humor to break negative tensions between them. Some incidents in this case indicate the importance of good interpersonal relationship between person to person. The commander maintained good relationship by keeping up the closeness between juniors, negating negative tensions to build up in the incidents of moving up the vehicle through the nights that have dangerous terrains. The commander keeps giving humorous remarks and also provides moral support and encouragements to finish the task. When facing the question of inquiry into the accident, the commander paid for the vehicle parts by himself to protect his juniors from embarrassment and declined the offer from his junior to take parts in payment. Interpersonal relationship proves its importance as it helps to create positive and supportive environment and overrides conflicts and negativity. For question number 5, from the 11 questions in the textbook, I will answer 5 questions below. Motive is a reason for doing something, especially one that is hidden or not obvious. Motivation is the process that initiates, guides, and maintains goal-oriented behaviors. And motivating is the activity of making or influencing someone eager to do something. This theory by Frederick Herzberg stated that 2 primary focuses regarding employee satisfaction are motivation and hygiene. Hygiene factors are considered to decrease employee motivation and include issues such as working condition, administrative and company policies, status, security, salary, interpersonal relationship, and supervision. They are called demotivators because when employees feel dissatisfied in any of these areas, employee motivation will decrease. This theory of expectancy, sometimes referred as expectancy theory, is based on the separation of performance, effort, and outcomes. This theory assumes that employee behavior comes from conscious choices made in the pursuit of minimizing pain and maximizing pleasure. 3 variables to account for an individual's motivation include expectancy, instrumentality, and valence. Motivation refers to the process that guides and maintains behavior that help employees work towards a particular goal or effectively perform tasks. There are 2 types of motivation, namely extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. Our motivation promotes our feelings of competence and self-worth as we achieve our goals, and obviously, it affects behavior. When a person is not able to satisfy his needs, it can lead to feelings of resentment, anger, confusion, disappointment, frustration, hopelessness, sadness, loneliness, and embarrassment. Yes, motivation can be increased. Various factors that influence motivation are strategies, incentives, recognition, leadership style, and so on that increase an employee's overall motivation to perform their duties at work. There are two videos that I already watched. The first video explained by Greg Yu about the organizational behavior. The video explains about the definition of organizational behavior, which is the study of human behavior in organizational settings, of the interface between human behavior and the organization, and of the organization itself. The core of OB is being effective at work. Understanding how people behave in organizations and why they do what they do is critical to working effectively and managing others. That is why the managers must look at the unique perspective each individual brings to the work setting, since each individual must have unique personal characteristics and background. In conclusion, understanding of OB will give insight and tools to carry out jobs more effectively by all managers. The second video, explained by Khan Academy Medicine, about the components of attitudes. There is the ABC model of attitudes, where the components are divided into three, namely affective, where we can feel emotion that shape our attitude, behavioral, where we can act or behave towards something, and cognitive, where we form thoughts and beliefs about something. The video even gives two examples to differ each component. As there are so many theories, I will choose the best theory to be implemented according to the situation and condition that I face as the manager. Besides that, by learning about attitudes, behavior, and organizational behavior itself, it will help me in making better decisions and being able to carry out the job more effectively as the manager. Well, my friends, that's all my answers. I hope that you can understand my answers. Please give a comment and subscribe. Thank you.